Every time you ask an AI to write a prompt, paint an image, or write a line of code, you don't stop to think how it actually happens. You just expect the result. But beneath the surface, it hides a terrifying reality. Artificial intelligence is not just code and math. It is also a physical, voracious beast made of steel, silicon, and copper. And right now, it is eating the planet's electricity supply alive. For years, tech giants told us that AI would optimize our resources and save our planet. But in May 2026, the hidden friction between marketing illusions and physical reality finally boiled over into a full-scale public crisis. Back in 2024, Microsoft, alongside the Emirati AI giant G42, quietly signed a massive blueprint to step into Kenya. They planned a $1 billion state-of-the-art AI data center designed to scale up to 1 gigawatt of power, intending to harness the clean geothermal energy radiating from the Rift Valley. But by May 2026, this grand vision hit a catastrophic wall. Kenya's entire national power grid only generates about 3,000 megawatts. At peak hours, its citizens already use nearly 2,500 of it. Microsoft's single AI megastructure demanded 1,000 megawatts. To keep the digital brain alive, the government would literally have to plunge half of its human population into pitch-black darkness. This isn't just an isolated crisis in Africa. In Texas, the energy capital of the United States, a grassroots data center rebellion is exploding. In San Antonio, planned AI centers are demanding 26,000 megawatts of power, enough to run 6 million human homes. The backlash is so severe that tech companies are now breaking ground on massive facilities in secret locations, hiding from local communities furious over soaring electricity bills and drained water supplies. The software is moving at light speed, but the physical power grids built by our grandfathers are literally melting under the strain. Big tech is no longer just competing for your attention. They are competing with major cities, hospitals, and national security for basic survival resources. To keep the silicon thinking, tech billionaires can no longer rely on solar panels or wind farms. The insatiable hunger of generative AI is forcing them to use the most feared, powerful, and controversial infrastructures in human history. Artificial intelligence always needs more power. Wind turbines and solar panels were supposed to build our green future. But AI doesn't wait for the wind to blow, and it cannot sleep when the sun goes down. A neural network requires absolute, unceasing baseload power, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And big tech has realized there is only one source on Earth dense enough to provide it. The tech industry is no longer just funding software. They are resurrecting the atomic age. Look at Pennsylvania. In the shadow of the Susquehanna nuclear plant, Amazon quietly bought a massive data center campus for $650 million, plugging their AI servers directly into a nuclear reactor. But that was just the beginning. Microsoft went even further, signing a historic deal to resurrect 3 Mile Island, the infamous site of the worst commercial nuclear accident in American history. A reactor that sat cold and silent for decades is being brought back to life, with its entire power output locked down for 20 years, exclusively to feed Microsoft's digital brain. The scale of this transition is unprecedented. Tech billionaires are no longer just software developers. They are becoming energy oligarchs. Because traditional nuclear plants take decades to build, big tech is splitting its bets. While Microsoft is taking the fast lane by pouring billions into restarting the infamous conventional 3 Mile Island nuclear plant, Google and Amazon are betting the future on a radical, unproven technology, SMRs, or small modular reactors. These are plug-and-play nuclear fission plants built in factories and shipped on trucks, designed to be dropped directly next to server farms. We are witnessing a bizarre inversion of history. Infrastructure built during the Cold War to safeguard nations is being cannibalized to power deep-fake generations and corporate algorithms. Every single AI accelerator chip generates over 1,000 watts of concentrated thermal energy. When you pack hundreds of thousands of these chips together into a hyperscale facility, the thermal load stops being a computer hardware problem and becomes a meteorological event. A landmark study published in May 2026 by Arizona State University revealed a terrifying reality. A single mid-sized operational data center rejects more waste heat into the local atmosphere than 40,000 human households combined. The massive arrays of industrial condenser fans blast invisible thermal plumes into surrounding neighborhoods, raising local temperatures by up to 4 degrees Fahrenheit and turning residential areas into artificial heat islands. But to stop these silicon brains from literally melting their own circuits, tech giants cannot just rely on air. They need water, millions of gallons of it every single day. Look at northwestern Utah. In May 2026, a furious public backlash erupted when the government approved a gargantuan AI data center project called Stratos. Spanning an area more than twice the size of Manhattan, this single facility requires 9 gigawatts of power, more than the entire state of Utah currently consumes. To feed this monster, developers are bypassing green energy entirely, building a massive on-site fossil fuel plant powered by natural gas from the Interstate Ruby pipeline. Experts warn this facility will single-handedly increase Utah's entire greenhouse gas emissions by 50%, while sucking vital water from a watershed already in active collapse. Physicists warn that the sheer thermal load will raise local nighttime temperatures by up to 12 degrees, aggressively drying out the fragile ecosystem of the Great Salt Lake. This is the ultimate paradox of the digital age. We thought we were building an ethereal, weightless intelligence that lived inside our screens. Instead, we have constructed a synthetic, ravenous ecosystem that sits directly on top of our own. It eats the electricity of entire nations. It drinks our rivers dry. It chokes our atmosphere with fossil emissions. And it alters the local climate of the towns it inhabits. Yet we keep the gates wide open, quietly complicit, hopelessly addicted to the digital convenience it serves us. For the first time in history, humanity is no longer the dominant organism shaping the physical architecture of the Earth. We are now sharing our grid, our water, and our atmosphere with a competitor that never sleeps, never burns out, and doesn't care if our world goes dark. And the ultimate irony? We are feeding the beast with our own hands, fully aware of its appetite.